We have got the decaf coffee out tonight, guys, because we're doing some night coding. So far, to catch you guys up to speed, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thanks for watching again, guys. So far, we've been working on a little personal finance app, and we've implemented a simple budget feature using a React front end and a Symfony backend, and we deployed it all to AWS for cheap, for hardly anything, every month. The next step is we're going to have to add more features. So to do that, we're going to need to add a router layer, and React router is going to take care of that for us. So it is time to get into it. I don't know what our next feature is going to be. Maybe a savings planner, like a retirement planner type deal. Maybe we do something with stocks. Maybe we allow users to simulate different budgets or something, or like I'd really like to do a what do you call it? The tax form calculator thingy, whatever you call those. So maybe we'll do something like that. But before we do, we've got to add some tabs here. We need to be able to navigate from our budget tool here to another page that we'll call like feature X or whatever. So to do that, we're going to have to use this React router package, and I believe it's just been updated, so I'm not really familiar with the newest version. So we're going to get to learn it together, guys. Let's see what we can do. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the docs, I guess. And hey, learn once, route anywhere. I like the sound of that. That sounds like something we could use. Make sure we're all good here. Yeah, we are. Oh, we don't want to watch a video though. That sounds like a lot of work. We want to. Here we go. Maybe this is good. This is React training. I don't know about. I just want the docs on GitHub or something. Oh, it's part of React training now. Oh, this is all new. Interesting. So I guess we just define our routes like this, huh? So this would be our backend, I think maybe Angular. Whoa. We want the quick start, guys. So create React app, demo app. Yep, we've done that. Install it with npm. That's what we want to do. So we're going to install the React router. And we're going to run save because we want to add it to our package.json so that we commit that. And we've already started a React project, but it looks like we're going to need to import these three pieces from the React router DOM package. So browser router, route, and link. We're going to need those. Open up WebStorm and go to our app.js file and add that line we just saw there. It complains because we haven't used it yet. Home, about, topics, yada yada yada. Okay. So it looks like the example we'll be using, or what we need here at least. Oh, interesting. Home, about, topics, and we are exporting basic example. Okay, so let's just let's humor these guys and use their example here. Let's grab these two React components, home and about. Let's get rid of PHP Storm for now. We're not going to need that for now, at least. So let's add these two React components, home and about, and these are shorthand React components. They're completely stateless. That's why you don't see, extend component like most React components. And it looks like, wow, it's super simple. We just need to include this router in the render of our app, I think. And let's see. Don't like, this really needs to be, maybe we need to move our budget to its own component now or something along those lines. We can just comment our budget. Let's just park our budget for now. Let's ignore it. So I commented it out, and we're going to return what this guy was returning in his example, what the official React router docs were returning. And so now we have these links to, we only have home and about for now. And let's see, yeah. Let's see, so it looks like if the path is this, we go to home. If the path is about, we go to about, and if the path is topics, we go to topics, which we don't have yet. Okay. Yeah, we'll get rid of that for now. We just want to see that this router is working properly. So we do have home and about and scope here. Element router doesn't have required attribute history, it says. I'm not sure what it needs there. Let's see what we can do before we add that history object. So we have home and about. Wow, look at that. We already have routing. That was easy. Definitely this new version of React Router works or is easier to set up than the last version that I used. So hats off to those guys. Cool. So the next thing we need to do, I guess, is allow our users to, so we're going to have some kind of a home page, and our second page is going to be budget. Really? Maybe we call, yeah, so the link is going to be called budget, or budgets, and the route's going to be budgets, and then it looks like, so yeah. So now we need to create a React component called budgets. Right now we have a budget component, but we need a container budget that holds like the controls for changing budget. I'll show you, just so you see if this works. So yeah, so the budget component is this bit right here with the income, expenses, and totals. And the app component right now hosts the logic for changing budgets, which was sort of a misstep on our part. We need to, we found a bug there. We need to host this in sort of like a budget controller type deal. So we're going to move that now. We are going to create a new component called BudgetController, I think, and that's going to take the take these controls and render a budget depending on what budget's selected. So we're going to call it BudgetController for now. I don't know what the proper like verbiage etymology is for a React for naming a controller, but we'll call it a budget controller for now, and then if we find out that budget controller is not the right way to name this file, then we'll address that later. We can change the file name easily. So budget controller, we're going to need to import a component from React, React DOM maybe. Let's take a look. Component now, React and component from React. We're also going to need all this, I think, actually. So we'll just copy all this here. We need component because we're going to create a new component called BudgetController that extends component. And we're going to try and just strip everything out except for the navigation of our app. We're going to strip it out. So this whole, pretty much this, I think. This is the left nav. Yeah, we'll just take this for now and see what happens. So this is going to have a render function, and that's going to return this guy, all that right there. And if you guys want to see how we did this before, check out the last few episodes. Really check out the whole series if you're interested in seeing how we built this. But I think we made the decision in the last 2 or 3 episodes to move some of this logic outside of the budget React component itself into the budget controller. So now we've got our render method pretty much set. We're not going to have to change much there, but we definitely need to pull out all these. So delete budget's going to go in the budget controller. Create budget as 2. Change new budget name. These are all of our actions that we can do. It looks like everything is coming with us, so we're gonna go ahead and copy this into the budget controller that we created. I think we need to, let's see, I think we can just do export default class budget controller. That worked just fine for us. I have a new line at the end of the file. So we also are going to need this bit here. So that goes in our render method. I think we're getting pretty darn close to done here, which is pretty sick because now we're going to add back in our routing, except we're going to add that into our, it's going to be gross for now guys, but bear with me. We're going to put it in our header, and budgets, link to budgets, and budgets component is going to be budget controller, and we're going to have to import it. So import budget controller from budgetcontroller.js. Let's see where we're at. I think we'll probably get some compile errors, but yeah, so it says fetch budget IDs is not defined. Oh yeah, so we need to copy this. I don't think we used this anywhere. I think this was a mock object we created in the past. Sorry guys, we'll clean that up now. This fetch budget IDs needs to come with us to the budget controller. And let's see where we're at. Hey, look, we have something here. Wow, did that just work? Look at that. How cool is that, guys? Check it out, just like that, we added routing. So we can go back, we can go from home to budgets. But we obviously lost some of our styles here for whatever reason. So we're gonna have to figure out why this looks so ugly now. I think probably we didn't pull along the entire container, or it needs to be in this app or something like that, or maybe we just didn't import our import what we needed. Well, it definitely got the coloring right here. Let's see if we can add a new expense. Oh no, things are broken, no doubt about that. What is going on? Let's take a look at our app and see if we forgot anything here. We don't need budget anymore, but we got rid of that. We don't need this stuff in here either. What's our HTML structure look like here? Did we forget to close something? Oh, whoa, is this? Yeah, I think we forgot a closing tag somewhere, maybe. Oh, I see. Yeah, we don't want that there at all, do we? We want this. Oh, linked. I think our router is going to have to surround our app, maybe. And we want to move our pages inside of that router. Let's see what that looks like. Still doesn't work, of course. A router may only have one child element, guys. Duh. Oh, yeah, that's fine with me. Just messed up our nesting a little bit. Okay, and now if we go here, Nate, hey, it looks kind of like it's supposed to. And our ASDF expense is here, and we can add expenses. It looks like it's working. I don't know what this line is over here. We're going to need to do a little bit of styling here. But our React router is working pretty well. Need to figure out, what is this HR tag? I don't even know. I don't know what an HR tag is. Hint transition. Oops, caps lock. Defines a thematic break. Horizontal rule, however the I don't know if we need that, but I don't like it. Yeah, look, everything still works, and that's not there anymore, so things have gotten considerably better, I guess you could say. Yeah, but we don't have a pretty navigation pane right now, so let's you know, I think we'll make it pretty in the next episode, because those are always the episodes where I tear my hair out, and I'm actually feeling pretty good about how fast we got this done. So I think we're just going to make it just work for now. Let's see. We will go ahead and put this here. We're just taking it out of this list, which makes it so ugly, and putting it right there in line with the header. And obviously we need a couple line breaks here. And is that right? Yeah, got it right the first time. That's hard to remember. Let's see what that looks like. And put one more here. Two more, I guess. Yeah, there we go. So usually the home button links, usually when you click on the title of your website, that should link to the home button. So we're going to actually change that. We're going to get rid of this first of all. We're going to call, instead of having the link called home, we're going to call it My Money Manager. And it's going to be all kinds of ugly, but it works pretty well. So yeah, check that out. And I think by default, since we don't have a home page yet, we'll have route exact path. We'll set that to BudgetController for now, and we'll only allow when the user hits the home route, we'll let them go to the home. Let them go home. So that's where that's going to link to. We'll probably change that in the future. So now budgets is the default route, and if you want to go home, you click the name of our app. So that's the router. One other thing I see that we should definitely do is we need to make it so that we can link to our specific budgets. So when you change a budget, we want to be able to go like budget /6 or whatever for Nate's budget. And I think I saw they kind of alluded to how to do it. Yeah, look at that. So it looks like this topic component knows how to handle parameters in the URL. See, it has this topic ID parameter. So the route path, it has, I'm not sure what match URL is, but this topic ID looks like it's an argument that's going to be passed to this topic component. Yeah, and you can see right there, match, yes. So I think that's a prop, actually. I think that's props. For us, it's going to be props.match.params.topicID. So, interesting. So we need to add a budget. I think budget ID. I think that's how we do it. We'll see. And then we go to our budget controller, and if we, let's see, so we should be able to get the budget ID here from our props. So the props are going to be set here, and then component did mouth, so is this reload all budgets? Let's just stick a debugger in here and see. You know what? I'm feeling pretty confident about what this does. So let's try and let's see if we can get this to work for us. I think we're gonna have props.match.params.budgetID. I think that's gonna be our selected budget ID, or let's see, URL, or let's see, const maybe budget ID. We'll set it to that value. It could be undefined potentially, and then we'll set active budget ID here to, if maybe .budget ID does not equal undefined, then we'll set it to maybe budget ID. Otherwise, we're going to leave the default at empty, and then we'll let the user select that. So let's see what this does. All right, so we're on budgets, and maybe let's just see what props are. Oh, we got a match here. Okay, but we didn't get any budget ID. Let's try budget ID, and then let's just go 6. And if we look at our props, we have that match, and we have should be match.params, but we don't have it, do we? We have it now. Hey, we do. Look, it found the budget ID, and I think that's exactly what we guessed it would be. Maybe budget ID is 6. Look at that. It worked, guys. It's a string. We need to remember that because we're going to need to parse that into an integer before we use it to select our budget. Wow, the React router has gotten way better, guys. Way better. Okay. So now that we have our budget ID, let's see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but if it it did try to get budget 6. That's awesome. This is mostly working already, guys. We just need to find a real ID of a budget, obviously. So if we take a look here, this is budget number 10, and this is budget number 18. So let's try and go back to budget 10, and just to let this go through because I think it works already. Nice. So now we can go to our my budget just by going to budget 10. It looks like, oh, this is weird. I don't know why. I don't know why this is here. I think maybe in our app, I think maybe we're not supposed to have that. I think maybe it trips both routes. I don't know. It's a little weird. Yeah, there we go. And then if we get rid of this, does it still work is the question, I guess, now. Looks like not. Looks like it does not. Darn. We're gonna have to figure that one out. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, sorry. Budget's 10. Budget 10 was the Nate budget. Oh god, we gotta get rid of this debugger, guys. This is getting annoying. It feels like we're getting close here, but it looks like if we had that other, like really this should, I want this to trip, but it doesn't. It's not recognizing that route. So maybe, maybe what we should do is call this, I mean for now we're going to do this because I don't want to spend too much time learning the React router, but this path will be budget ID, and then budgets will just be BudgetController without that budget ID. So that'll take us to budgets, and then if we go to budget 10, it'll take us to, sorry, budget 10, that'll take us to my budget. Alright, that's all good and fun. So now what we need to do is when we change this, we need to change the route. So I don't know if we can pass the router down as a prop or what. That's a little goofy. So this is a quick start. Dealing with update blocking. I wonder if it just works already, maybe. Let's copy this, so we're gonna get, or actually, let's go to the docs and look for a link. So a link to one of these topics right here, that's what we want to figure out. Link to, interesting. So topics is anything with that in there, but topic route path topic ID. This is a weird one. Route match URL slash. Okay, so that would be the topic. It's component topic. Okay, that's weird, but we will just go ahead and we'll take this for now with the assumption that it's probably not going to work, but we might be able to make it work. So instead of, so now that we have the router in use, we're not going to have to manually trigger this change active budget ID anymore, I think. So that is great. But I want to do select box React router. Okay, drop down. Oh, this is all looking very complicated. Maybe for now we'll ditch the select box because we're doing navigation anyways. Eventually we're not going to be able to select from any budget. We're only going to be able to select from our budgets. So I'm going to just make an executive decision here, and we will get rid of the select box, and instead what we'll do is loop over budget links. So we'll loop over the budgets And budget options now, we'll call it budget links. And we're going to create a link for every single budget. And this is mostly right, but well, we kind of need to reverse this. So that's going to be budget slash budget ID there. And we'll call it budget name. There we go. So that's going to be what we're going to do, and we'll just include that here. And let's see what happens. I'm not sure exactly. Link is not defined, and that is obviously because we need to import it in our budget controller. And let's get rid of these two. We just need link, I think, for this one. And I'm hoping the router still works from inside of here. I don't know if it will. There's Nate and Alicia. Okay, so if you look, that's not using absolute paths. We probably just need to add a leading slash here, and that will make all of our problems go away. It's not gonna work though. So we're at budgets, Alicia budget, there it is, boom, Nate budget, Nate budget. It's not, it doesn't look like it's changing state a second time, maybe. So the first time it definitely does, the second time it does not. And if we create a new budget, that's almost certainly not going to work. Interesting. So let's take a look at what this change active budget ID did exactly. Oh, you know what it is? It's whenever, let's see, what function called when React link clicked? No, we need the React router docs. React router lifecycle, maybe. Component did update. Component did update might get called. Whoops, component did. Let's see if it did. If it does get called. Component did update. And we'll see if that gets called, then I think we're going to be able to maybe do something there. So obviously it hasn't been called yet. Oh, clicking it, oh, it changes the route, but it's not reloading. Let's go back to our React router docs and just see. React router, can you do that? What does exact do? When true, will only match if the pattern matches the location path name exactly. Location, no, render. All three render methods will be passed the same three route props. That's not what we need. So is this calling render? Let's see if it even calls render a second time. It's certainly going to call as soon as we get there. Right. Oh wait, where's our... Where's our render, guys? It's weird. I feel like Chrome doesn't really work very well on my computer, at least. Works well everywhere else. So, we got our budget 10, we got our budget 18, but I think, oh man, should we quit out of this and try and open up this again, maybe? Something's clearly not working because we're not seeing our debugging output at all. Unless it's over here. Chrome not seeing debugging output. And what happens? What happens if we open this up in Safari? We need the developer console in Safari. Yeah, there we go. See, we do get a componented update. My Chrome is definitely not working well at all. I think I'm gonna have to like reinstall Chrome or something. I don't know. Fortunately, we have fast internet, but for now, we'll just use Safari unless it's not enough. So it looks like every time we call or change the route, it calls component.did update. And let's just go look at the, what is that complaining about here? That it can be static. Let's see what we'll use Safari here. Component.did update React. I want to see what exactly this the documentation is for this, because I don't want to misuse this function. So it says component.did update is invoked immediately after updating occurs. The method is not called for the initial render. Using this as an opportunity to operate on the DOM when the component has been updated. This is also a good place to do network requests as long as you compare the current props to the previous props. That looks like we probably, that looks like it, huh? Yeah, component.did update is what we want. So we're going to then do this, I think. Component.did update, does that get the props? Gets previous props and previous state. So what we want to do, sorry, I guess state has it, huh? Interesting. It's not going to be a, oh yeah, it's going to be a prop. So we want to check to see if this, I think, if the new budget ID that comes through the props from the React router, maybe new budget ID, if maybe new budget ID does not equal undefined, which would happen if somebody hit the budget route or like somehow it updated without having a budget ID in the URL. Budget ID is this bit right here, 18. If that isn't the case, and if maybe new budget ID does not equal previous, previous state dot active budget ID maybe, then we're going to do this. We're going to set the active budget ID to maybe new budget ID, right? Yeah. And then let's see what that does. I don't know if that is 100%, but it's gonna get us closer for sure. So we got the component.did update called already for some reason. Budget 18, I don't like that, but sorry, we're a Safari shop now because Chrome crapped out on us. Okay, maybe new budget ID is right. But it's already the same, so we're not going to do anything. And then we're going to turn off breakpoints. Now let's go to Alicia. So that changed, and this changed. Made income $10,000 4 times a month. I wish. And can we switch back and forth? Alicia, Nate. Alicia, Nate. Let's just click on budgets here, and it takes us to the main budget page. Nate, Alicia, Nate, Alicia. Delete budget. We should probably call that delete active budget or something better. But yeah, look, our routing works. That's cool. And if you looked in the URL, you could see. We'll go back to Chrome for this. Chrome's a little better at this, I guess. Yeah, so we'll see. Let's turn off debugging. God. Gosh darn it. And yeah, look, we can see in the URL it changes from 10, and I can see mine, and I can go to 18 and see hers. Let's open an incognito here and go to 18. Works there. We can click budget. Can we create a new budget? That'd be a good test. That wouldn't work, I don't think. New. Yeah, of course that didn't work. It should have updated, or not should have, but we would expect it as a user to update this URL. So let's fix that right now. How would we do that? Programmatically change route, react router. And we definitely need that to be recent because the react router has been updated so recently. This looks like pretty recent. So route you want to go to, history. This is not a confirmed answer. I don't trust it. History.push, alternatively history.replace. History is not available. I should note previous version. Appears I can access the router methods I need through context. However, I was under the impression that using context with an answer pattern would be, yeah. This is a year old, I guess, so I can't direct. So it's best of all, try to use either the link or redirect component. Yeah, I want to know how we would change the history. I want to know how we change routes, right? So props push, try changing routes via this props push new route. It's not at all what I was thinking of. This is React Router Redux. Okay. Browser history from React Router, but I can't find such interfaces in v4. How can I navigate? If you're targeting browser environments, you need to use React Router DOM package instead of React Router. They are following the same approach as React did, or separate the core React platform-specific code. So we add it, blah, blah, blah. First thing you need to do is provide a browser router, use HTML5 history API. So that might be, are we using the browser router, I guess is the first question. I think we are. Yeah, look at that, we are. In v4, for navigating programmatically, you need to access the history object, which is available through the React context, as long as you have a browser router. Provider component is the topmost parent in your application, which we do. The library exposes through context the router object that itself contains history as a property. The history interface is blah, 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 blah. So how do we get the history is what I want to know. Okay, it's a prop. It comes in as a prop as we can see here. So it's pretty simple. That's what we do. So I'm going to put a debugger for now, just when we change the active budget ID. And we're going to take a look and see if that history object is in our props like we assumed. Let's see. And we're in Chrome again because Apple's debugging sucks, even though its console at least works. Oh, I wonder if we're filtering out things. Look at this. Ha! There's everything. God, that's been annoying. Well, we can see all our logs now. We'll never need to use Safari again, thank God. Although it does render high charts very fast. Thank you, Apple, for that. Alright, we are checking to see what this props has. Oh, it does have history. Look at that, history. And we can call history push. I think we've got a winner, guys. React router DOM history push. How to push history in React. Cart. I want to see more examples. I want to see push with an argument. Because if you look here, push is a function that takes a path and a state. We'll just give it a shot, I guess. So it would be this dot history dot, this dot props dot history dot push. So that's going to be budget, and then the budget ID. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not again, but that'd be great if it did, like that. Not sure if that worked or not, but we're gonna try popping this into our create budget. So after we create the budget, so we set active budget ID here, and as where does set active budget ID get called from? Where does this gets called when we change it? And that's, well, I don't think we use that anymore though, do we? We don't use that anymore. Bye. This gets used. Component did update, it gets used, and it gets used when we create. So when we create it, I'm trying to think if this set active budget ID should be responsible for routing to the newly created budget, as like changing the URL, but I don't think so. I think just after we create it, we're gonna call so push history is gonna be this dot props dot history dot push, and we're gonna just call push history, and I think it's gonna be maybe, oh yeah, newly created budget ID, we'll call it. So anybody reading our code knows what we mean. And we're gonna set our active budget ID to that. And you know what? I don't even think we need to do that, honestly. I think we just need to, maybe changing the route itself is enough to trigger the component did update, and that will call the set active budget ID for us. See? Maybe. I don't know. We can dream, right? See if it works. This is complaining to us because this doesn't have a key. We'll get to that in a second. Create new budget. Oh God. Oh, we've got debugger code here again. Darn it. Debugger. We know if that works. Reload. Yeah, so we can change, yep, blah, blah, blah. Oops, I accidentally deleted something. Create new budget. Yay. Yay. Create. It changed our route for us, and then that route correctly loaded. Yay. Let's see, create, and then we can go to Nate, and we can go to yay, and yay is there. Cool, check that out. We have routing, guys. We are doing big things, I'll tell you that. I don't know, can we do, here's what we need to do. We need to wrap this in a div so that it breaks line here, maybe. That's annoying. And then also, we need this key here, which is going to be equal to budget ID, of course. That's what we were seeing. Let's complain about over here. Nagging, always nagging. Okay, new, delete. Delete still works, and that takes us back to. Oh, you know what? Delete needs to take us back to our main thing. So when we go to, we're going to do the same thing here that we did with create budget, but when we delete, instead of calling set state manually, I think this might be terribly might be wrong, but it might not be. We're gonna give it a shot. Let's go here, and we're gonna push history budgets and just see where what that does. We're gonna see where that takes us. So let's create a throwaway budget here. Oh, that's not working at all. Oh yeah, because our budget's deleted. Duh, silly. I think we also need to cover that. Like if we get an error, we need to redirect to the main budgets page or something. Or I don't know. Maybe we'll do error handling later. Create new budget. Let's create a throwaway budget. Throwaway. And it directed us to the throwaway budget, and now that we're on throwaway budget, let's delete it. It did redirect us, but I think a little too fast, unfortunately. I think we need to call this only after, and this is going to get rid of our immediate feedback, which is kind of gross. So is there a way not to do that? Is there a way to push history? No. Unless, did it call component did update? It might have. No, it called render, I think. Let's see. If it calls component did update, we might be able to do this. If it's re-rendering, I don't know about that. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to live with the fact that it's not absolutely instantaneous and responsive when you delete a budget. Sorry, guys. I know you're all disappointed. We're going to put that in the callback here after we know that we deleted our budget. That should do it. Let's create another throwaway budget here. And delete it. And that seemed to work okay. Alright, let's just do another quick test to make sure everything works. So we can go to, let's just go to the default route. Let's go to localhost 3000, see what happens. Alright, loads up the budget view. We probably should highlight whatever tab is currently active, so we'll think about that in a second. And this should take us to home, which is a placeholder for now. Budgets takes us to budgets. Nate takes me to my budget. Alicia takes me to Alicia's budget. Nate, Alicia. Yay is here. Yay is a throwaway, so we can delete that, and it takes us back to the root budgets. We can travel to either budget. We can create a new budget. New budget again. And then we can copy this URL, put it in another tab, and we're still on this new budget. And we can delete it and So the one thing I don't like is, I don't like that this doesn't highlight, that the route that's selected doesn't highlight, and I don't like that we see that flashing of navigation over here, but I think that's an improvement maybe for another episode. Our routing definitely works for all intents and purposes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think we really got to use the React router pretty well, and I think the outcome was good. So thanks for watching again, guys. I always appreciate feedback. If you guys, budget doesn't exist anymore. If you guys learned anything, let me know in the comments. If you want to learn something else, let me know. If there's some kind of feedback you have on the format of the show, it's all appreciated, guys. Seriously. Subscribe below if you like the content at all. Share this with your friends if you liked it. The source code's all on GitHub, and it's free to use, free to share. So always appreciate you guys watching. Have a great night.